Just FYI, I've cut out all dialogue sequences from the footage in the background to make sure that there are no spoilers. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. I want to put out a quick vlog just to cover a couple of issues and also give you updates as to what I'm doing over the next few weeks and the plans for covering the Old Republic. That's kind of a big deal because it's been quite a long time since I've covered an MMO in a huge amount of detail. Unfortunately, it comes at really the wrong time. I wasn't expecting the beta NDA to be lifted at this time. I was certainly hoping it would have been before November, but then again, would have seen a much more incomplete version of the game by that point, because November and early December are really busy for me, incredibly so. So let me update you as to what's going to be going on and where I'm going to be over the next couple of weeks, because that will be relevant to the content you'll see on the channel. On Wednesday, I'm flying out to Sweden for Dreamhack Winter, which a lot of you perhaps already know about. Hopefully some of you are going there, in which case I will see you there. And I'm there to commentate the big StarCraft 2 tournament, of course. That's going to go on over the course of a few days. After that, I'm going to be going to Stockholm for a week just to spend a bit of time with my wife, who is over here in Europe at the moment. So we're just going to go and chill out in Stockholm. Literally chill out. It might be a bit cold there. You might think it's a little bit of an odd holiday destination, but I actually always wanted to go to Stockholm. Seems like a really kick-ass place, and I actually really love Sweden. So I'm going to hang out there for about a week. And I'll be doing some work there, but it's more of like a try to chill out and relax kind of thing, because it's gotten to the point where a lot of people have said you must take a holiday, and that's actually even what my doctors recommended in terms of just workload and stress levels and things like that. So I'm gonna chill in Stockholm for a week, and I'll do a little bit of work here and there, and I'll do a little bit of coverage of Old Republic and things like that, but it's not going to be full on. I mean, what I would love to do is just kick into high gear and start making a large amount of informative content. I've got a lot of ideas, but I can't really do that just yet. So I think I'm going to be back early December. I'm pretty sure in the first week of December I should be back in the UK, and then I don't really have a lot on in December, so I think there's going to be a lot of Old Republic coverage as well as the usual WTF is mailbox content going through until the launch of the Old Republic, going through almost to Christmas, isn't it? Yes, it's on the 20th, if I recall correctly. As regards to what kind of content I want to do for this, I do want to be hopefully living up to the standard that I put forward with Cataclysm Beta last year, but hopefully do it just a little bit better, because I've learned quite a few things since then. My editing techniques, for instance, have got a bit better. I won't be doing straight playthroughs, because I think it's lazy, and honestly it kind of is. And to be honest, it's a bad way to show the content, because there are areas in which nothing is really going on. If between the big voice-acted sections, the scripted stuff, the story areas, the fighting and things like that, there's quite a lot of running around and trying to find where you're going. Now, if you remember what I did with Cataclysm, what I used to do is I would record the footage first, I would then edit it, so I'd cut out all the boring stuff, and I'd talk about it after the fact. That means that my commentary could be more accurate, because I'm going to know more about what's going to happen, and also it means that I can get rid of all of the downtime. I can cut all of the filler out of there and just make sure it's all good content. The concern, however, is the fact that Old Republic is really story-based, way more so than any MMO you've seen so far. And it's mostly because of the way that the voice acting and the dialogue choices actually work. It does just play, in that respect, like either Mass Effect or, of course, the old Knights of the Old Republic games as well. So there's going to be two kinds of videos. There will be spoiler videos and there will be non-spoiler videos. And spoiler videos will basically be the playthroughs, because the playthroughs of the Origin worlds, which is going to be very relevant for people who are trying to figure out which class they want to start with, or who are simply interested in seeing the content and how it actually plays out and what the quality of the content is like, those are going to show the dialogue, which means that's going to have story spoilers, and there's no real way to avoid that. Now, those will be tagged in the title with spoiler, so you will know which ones to watch and which ones not to go for. The non-spoiler content will be things like PvP, will be things like dungeon content, if I'm able to get to that point. I don't know if I'll even be able to get high enough level to do that stuff before the beta ends and they're actually going to full launch. Admittedly, I'll still be, assuming I'm still interested in the game by that point, doing that on full release as well. But the other stuff's going to be basically mechanics videos, system explanations, and things like that. For instance, I want to tell you about how the crew skill system works, because that's very different and interesting. You probably haven't seen anything like that before in an MMO. I would like to show you companions. I would like to show you all sorts of cool stuff like the crafting. And what I also want to do is give you full class overviews. So I've got the plan to hopefully level up all 8 classes to level 10 and then go through an overview of mechanics and things like that. I will do a class roundup video maybe tomorrow if I've got the time, which will give you an overview of all the classes from a very basic level. It's going to say, hey, these are the classes available, this is what they do, and I'm also going to tie them back into other MMOs I've played as well. So the most obvious comparison will be World of Warcraft. You know, this one is kind of like a Fury Warrior, this one's kind of like a Rogue, stuff like that. And give people a reference point, because a lot of my channel subscribers, of course, you guys, you played WoW. That's where a lot of you came from. So you've got a frame of reference there. Needless to say, I will be critical in my videos. That I've already seen some things that I don't like in the game, and some things that I do. I'll be explaining those through the playthroughs and things like that. So that's how it's going to work, and I won't be doing any straight-up, hey, I'm just going to live commentate this, because I just don't think it's a good way of presenting the content. I think there are better ways to do it. Always, as far as I'm concerned, good to cut the fat from videos like that. With MMOs, first impressions don't really work, and more detailed analysis, I feel, is required. Because if people are going to make that purchase decision and try and go into a new MMO, which of course can be a big time sink, they do need to know whether or not it's any good. And it's going to take me a long time to figure that out. Aside from that, I think that pretty much covers all I want to talk about, honestly. I'd like to thank you for your patience, by the way. I know November's been a pretty crappy month for content. I mean, you've had WTF-a-thon, which I suppose helps, but I've really not been able to put out much this month because I've been all over the place. I've been in Finland. I'm about to be in Sweden. I was in Paris on business last week. I've only got 2 days until I fly out to Sweden. It's stressful, and I've just come back from Telford as well. November is kind of hell month in that regard, but it's good. It's good. I just need to recover the rest of my voice. So thanks for your patience and sticking with me, particularly with the lack of mailbox. And that's the thing that kind of disappoints me the most, that I haven't been able to keep up with that because of all of these places I've been. It sucks. But hopefully I can make up for that in December and going into the new year as well. There should be some really good stuff coming in for you. Thank you once again for remaining subscribed to this channel and watching these videos. Very much appreciated. And I will see you next time.